pulling huge trunks of equipment as they went. It was all starting to feel like a real film set. Maggie stood behind Chloe, closely watching everyone who opened a car or a van door. In fact, she was standing so close that Chloe could actually feel Maggie pull her stomach in, then exhale again, as each vehicle dispensed a technician rather than a movie star. "Try to relax," said Chloe, turning to face Maggie. "You don't want to pass out with excitement when he does get here. That would really ruin your chances." "So he is arriving today," squealed Maggie, grabbing Chloe's arm. "I knew you were keeping something close to your chest." A fortnight ago, Chloe had received the script and filming schedule. It told her which parts of the village they'd need access to each day, as television shows were never shot in the order they appeared on TV. Sometimes the actor was only available for a day or two, and so every scene involving them would be filmed together. Equally, all shots involving the same set and some outdoor scenes might be filmed on the same day, depending on the weather reports. Although Chloe hadn't said anything to Maggie, she knew Dominic was arriving before the other stars because they were going to start filming his scenes during the afternoon. And one of the first featured the super sleuth crime writer arriving at his coastal retreat and working on his latest masterpiece. For the rest of the day, the set designers would be busy dressing the promenade and creating the Serenity Bay Festival of Writing. "So what's the story?" asked Maggie. "What dastardly deeds does my hero uncover?" "All I can say is what you already know," replied Chloe. "Dominic has been invited to take part in the writing festival. He's up for an award, as are some of the other characters. Obviously, some suspicious things happen and a few people die, as they always do when he's around." "So what scenes will he be filming today? The actual murder? Who's the victim? Are they famous?" Chloe just shook her head and smiled. "Good try, but that's as much as I can say. You know it has to be kept under wraps." "I'm as discreet as they come." Maggie ran an imaginary zip across her lips, but Chloe knew that her version of discretion was only to tell a few close friends, which roughly translated meant every customer who crossed the threshold of the pub. After arriving in Serenity Bay nearly 18 months ago, Chloe had fallen in love with the sleepy seaside village, but to stay here, she needed to build a career for herself, something that would benefit everyone. She worked hard to make Serenity a great place for film crews. Apart from the stunning Northumberland coastal scenery, the village had all the practical things many people didn't think about, but the crew really needed. A big enough car park to house the catering trucks, enough holiday accommodation for everyone involved, and a variety of settings like the church, pub, and cricket ground, so that all the different scenes could be shot without losing days to travel. Their first booking had been a reality show which was filmed at her friend Roisin's wellness retreat. It really put the village on the radar, and the village was suddenly abuzz with visitors. Holiday cottages were being booked up, day trippers bought local gifts and homemade produce, the pub was run off its feet with Sunday lunch orders, and life was good. As an added bonus, the producer who worked on the reality show, Kareem, had loved spending time here, and when he was promoted to the drama division, he invited Chloe to tender for one of the nation's favourite Sunday night shows. A long-running, cosy crime, the Montgomery Mysteries, starring the fictional crime-writing sleuth, Dominic Montgomery. When they won the tender, Chloe promised Kareem that she'd do everything in her power to make his first drama production run like clockwork. Although the overall mood of the village was excitement at the forthcoming shoot, some residents were slightly less enthusiastic as the timing of the shoot was a bit of a nuisance. Kareem needed to shoot this episode in early December. The village was now popular out of season 2, but the timing meant that the villagers couldn't advertise their cottages for early festive breaks and were turning away enquiries from tourists in order to house the production team. Chloe tried to assure them that keeping the village on primetime TV was so important for their long-term security, but a few counter-argued that the film shoot was putting too many eggs in one basket. They should be attracting tourists